Survival of the fittest. Sergeant Hammer's fortress is under siege. Determined to shatter its defenses, Amon is shielding his minions from damage and resurrecting them in entirely new bodies upon death. Do whatever it takes to stop their assault. Now, this sounds a little bit similar to the one that we had last week. In case you missed that one, it turned out to be one of the most difficult, if not the most difficult, mutation mission of all time. So, I don't exactly know how difficult this week's is going to be, but let's have a quick look. Apparently, we're going to be playing on the Void Thrashing mission. And first and foremost, the enemy units and structures gain a temporary shield upon the first time they take damage. Okay, so they pretty much all have the Immortal ability, which I guess is annoying, but usually we can just simply power our way through that. And then we also have the transmutation. Enemy units have a chance to transform into more powerful units whenever they deal damage. Now this is one that we have seen in the past before, and it turned out that they could actually become hybrids and all kind of really big minions after just simply killing a couple of units. Now, considering the enemies should not really be dealing a whole lot of damage, I figured that Nova is probably going to be very viable, as she's obviously running around with a relatively small army, but a very, very powerful army at that. As far as my mastery points go, I decided to go with the Griffin Airstrike cost reduction, the combat unit attack speed, as well as the combat unit life regeneration, which probably is the strongest all-round setup, unless you want to really focus on Nova's strength herself, which, come to think of it, may not even be that bad of a decision, but I think this is just a little bit, a little bit easier to execute and a little bit easier to control. Now, it is currently a Tuesday morning, meaning that pretty much everyone in my friends list is currently offline, so I've got no one to actually group up with. But you know what? We're just gonna queue up, and obviously we're gonna be playing on the brutal difficulty. I just hope that the ally we queue up with is actually going to be reasonable. Alrighty, so here we are. Now, I've apparently grouped up with Xaron, who is going to be a level 90 mastery Swann player.
My base is getting slammed by these void thrashers, and it can't take much more. I'm too busy fighting fires in here to handle them myself. You gotta destroy those thrashers before they destroy this fortress.
Now, I'm not entirely sure how good he is, but I'm gonna make the assumption, considering he's the max level when it comes to co-op, that he's gonna be pretty reasonable. Of course, considering I'm playing Nova right here, right? I think I'm just gonna base my army eventually around mech. But initially, in the earlier stages of the game, it seems really good, at the very least on Nova, to focus on some ground-based units as well, in particular Marine Marauder and all that. And a little later on, we can switch into much more, factory and starport-heavy units as well. And that seems to work out just fine. Now, of course, this is going to be a mutation mission, right? So I'm not entirely sure how difficult this is truly going to be. But I guess we'll figure it out together. I guess we will figure it out together very soon. Void Thrasher will be available in just a little bit. All of the units are going to be much more tanky. They will take much less damage than they normally do. So I guess I'll go ahead and grab this thing. The engineering bay at the same time as a tech lab, so I can start up the stim pack relatively early on. And I do want to make sure that, of course, I get my expansion out as well. And there we go. That's going to be me already done making workers. Nova will be coming out in just a little bit as well. And as long as I position my defensive drones and all that properly, I think we should be in a good spot. Now, he's playing Swann. Swann obviously very, very good when it comes to, like, general staying alive kind of strategies, as he, generally speaking, also will not be taking all too much damage. And I think I'll just make, like, one group of Marines. And then together with the defensive drones and Nova, we can probably take on the first Thrasher once it pops, and I can then expand. I think that's a good choice. I think that's a good choice anyway. We'll get the super stim pack as well, of course, and then I'm gonna be creating my 6 elite Marines here next up.
Enemies coming for our base. Thought you might want to know.
Obviously, Swann is extremely good at defensive play, so maybe I could even pull off, just simply going for the expansion faster, but I guess this will do. They will have some, they will have quite a little bit of HP, and then I can use them for knocking down the rocks after this aggression as well. You don't think I need to? Alright. It's funny, like, max level obviously does make a really big difference. Okay. Well, that's not gonna do any damage. Okay.
Ready for combat.
Gotta go ahead and start knocking down the rocks. He actually would have been totally fine there just by himself. You can see those 2 SCVs actually repairing all of the defensive structures. I really need to start leveling up my own Swann. I really need to start leveling up my own Swann here. They're so good. Alright, he's gonna be getting some extra gas here. I'll go ahead and grab myself some upgrades, and I'll also get my factory.
Main objective is to kill it, and fast.
Okay.
Time to take it out.
Just want to knock down the rocks real quick.
Status.
Alright, we should be good to go. We won't be taking too much damage here. Not sure if I have enough here though to do it all by myself. There we go. That will make it easy. Barrier is an interesting ability though. Okay. Luckily I got super stim pack, so my units actually heal up rather than die. We'll go ahead and grab as many upgrades here as we can. And I'll start landing my expansion here as well.
Think I hear some void thrashers knocking on our door. Let's get ready to answer.
Okay. So those are going to be coming out here very soon.
Prepare to defend.
And I'll also go ahead and grab myself the upgrades right here. For the Strike Goliath in particular. And I want to make sure that I get my, what are they called? The Raven type 2s very soon here as well. Push coming in. I think we'll be okay though. I really want to focus my effort here on getting as much here as we possibly can. Wow, that defense though early on is insane. Yeah, Swann does not take any damage. He does not take any damage at all. I'll go ahead and just queue up a bunch of my workers. There we go, that should be enough workers for the rest of this game, which will make it a little easier. And then as soon as I can, I'm going to make a tech lab here as well on this building, and we'll get an armory. Now, sadly, there is indeed a hybrid right now at the front, but it looks like we're okay. Gotta be able to get my Raven type 2s. And I can also start adding on some factory units right now. Ideally, we go for like a maxed out army around these Trigolites. They're just absolutely amazing. It's just that you do need quite a little bit of resources to try and make them. And obviously, the Raven Type 2 will allow us to get a really powerful setup as well, in the fact that she will allow us to get a lot more healing on our forces. Particularly helpful early on. And, you know, there's also a lot of other upgrades on them. We'll get the armory upgrades, and I'll need to make sure to get my lockdown missiles as well as the enhanced manufacturing. Alright, so we got the good setup. Not entirely sure if he's going to plan on making... Okay, he does have a couple of units right now, so that's good.
Nova here. Sig, I'm reading you.
We should probably start moving out soon, though, after he knocks down the rocks.
Not enough minerals.
Alright. Ah, he's going to use the dropship there? Alright.
Got some bad guys coming after our base.
I'll push after this.
Not enough minerals. Upgrade.
We'll go ahead and grab ourselves the Marauders here next.
Not enough minerals.
Here come the thrashers,
Okay.
commanders. Let's light them up. Activating defensive drone.
Upgrade complete.
That's a lot of barriers, though. Or there's a lot of, like, defensive tools that they have. I'm gonna start moving right now. Okay. A barrier. Does that mean that the barrier has double barriers? I mean, the Immortal, right? Does it have 2 barriers then as well? It kind of should, right? Oh no. Okay. Okay, so far so good. I'll go ahead and grab my upgrades here for the Hellbats as well. And there we go. Managed to eliminate those just fine so far. Actually, very clean game. Not really running into any issues just yet. Getting all of the upgrades here. And I'm basically just trying to get as many upgrades here as we possibly can. I don't really need to use my my dropships just yet. Just really trying to build up that force. But I'm already starting to get to a close to maxed out army. Pretty sure I got all of the buildings that I need here. Yep. Don't really need to worry about a whole lot else. And at that point, I can really start moving across the map. We've got another Raven type 2. I want to kind of lose one of my units here. Okay. I'll save some resources here. I can tactical air jump if we need to. No, we don't really need to. I'm just gonna back up. We'll be able to meet him head on. Sadly, dealing damage apparently also counts rather early on, and there we do indeed see another one of those big units. But it's looking really solid so far. Gotta go ahead and add on a couple more hellbats. And I'll queue up this upgrade here as well, just because we can. Wait or ready. I'll give him a little smiley face to know that I don't mean harm. It's actually kind of cool. Like, the people are super nice in co-op, I've noticed. Like when you play without friends or whatever. All right. Okay, trying to do as much damage here as I possibly can.
Look at that! An archangel. Probably a good idea to destroy it before they can use it.
Okay.
A Void Thrasher's death has been confirmed.
There we go. Getting my Raid Liberator upgrades. And at this point, like, we're getting a really very powerful setup. I'm basically at a point right now where I can start spending my resource on other things. It looks like we're even gonna go for the bonus objective. Trying to snipe down the storms here for the most part, but I don't know if that's actually the correct thing to focus on. I got detection. I mean, I am a detector. Okay.
Griffin's ready for boarding. Confirm that.
Took the entire dropship to move across the map. I think we can start moving right now. Okay. I'll just push for a little bit here. That was insane. He just blew up everything. All right. I've got a Griffin airstrike ready for the next one. He just murdered everything in a single hit. I mean, I got Griffin airstrikes for the next wave. I'm good to go as far as this goes. I mean, I can get some more upgrades, I suppose. I guess I'll get some more because I can't afford it. Don't really need my siege tank. I guess I can get those two as well. Okay.
Enemies approaching fast. Man, they look mad.
Trying to micro here to the best of my abilities. Trying to make sure that units don't take critical amounts of damage, but it looks like, while there is a fight going on at home right now, we're just going to be able to target fire down the Void Thrashes. And that's game, right? I mean,
No worries. We'll keep her safe and sound.
we can take some, you know, units over there, but...
Yeah, we made it. Tell you what, next time y'all are in town, I'm buying the first round. And that's a promise.
It's so funny to see, like, with how difficult the first, like, the last week's one was, right? With how tricky and how many attempts it took to try and get that one down. To just simply try something and absolutely roll through the mission the week afterwards. It's funny because the mission did sound very difficult. Obviously, my my ally knew exactly what was going on already, it seemed. And he was making the perfect amount of units at the correct timing. But that was a lot easier than I had anticipated. But hey, we get that sweet bonus XP. And there we go. That should give me at least level 56, maybe even 57. No, sadly not quite yet. But we managed to complete this week's mutation mission on the brutal difficulty called Survival of the Fittest, including the bonus objective as well. Yeah, all things considered, that went significantly easier than I had thought it would be. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching it either way. It turns out Nova and Swann work like an absolute charm, because as long as you don't take too much damage, you're not gonna really be able to, you know, upgrade the enemy minions either, and therefore, you know, heroes like, for example, Zagara will probably be significantly weaker because of that, you know, because, you know, they're obviously just simply gonna be taking, they're gonna be able to deal a lot more damage, because the units of Zagara, for example, just suicide in, and it's very difficult to, you know, properly keep them alive, whereas with both Swann as well as Nova, there's just a smaller army, but a much more powerful army at that. But anyway, for now, I want to thank you all very much so for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button down below. And if you want to see more, make sure you subscribe so you get a notification as soon as I upload more. And while you're at it, go ahead and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. The links are in the description. I want to thank you for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile, alright? And I will see you in the next one.